Legs. Legs that allow it to go anywhere. Just as when humans learn to walk upright. That is the real revolution in weaponry.
Metal Gears have towered over the Metal Gear Solid series on their two legs and are often celebrated as the missing link in weaponry. Most Metal Gears are nuclear capable and are able to launch a nuke against anywhere in the world. Metal Gears are used as a tool to either reinforce nuclear deterrence or as a way to skirt around it when they're able to fire a nuke untraceably. Who do you retaliate against when you don't know where the nuke is coming from? On the battlefield, Metal Gears fill the gap between infantry and artillery. Do Metal Gears lose their importance though as the times change throughout Metal Gear Solid and the international community shifts from trying to prevent war to capitalizing on the profits never-ending proxy wars bring in? Welcome back! If you're new here, my name is Luffy and welcome to my channel. I talk video games and character analysis, so if that's your thing, subscribe and stick around. If you like what I do here, consider supporting me on Patreon or becoming a channel member so that I can continue to bring these videos to you weekly. Special thanks to Agent Duckman1252 on YouTube for suggesting this topic. If there's a certain topic you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments. Let's dive into how the role a Metal Gear plays changes throughout the series and if the changing times make Metal Gears obsolete. Do Metal Gears retain their usefulness?
Well, this technology will be the missing link between infantry and artillery.
How useful are Metal Gears on the battlefield? We regularly see Metal Gears as boss battles, but it isn't until 2014 in Metal Gear Solid 4 that we see Metal Gear derivatives fighting alongside their soldier counterparts. Geckos are shockingly agile and intelligent, able to hunt for their prey across any terrain. They work alongside their soldier companions or run mission directives separate from them, such as when Geckos were searching for Snavit in the beginning of MGS4. In MGR, there are even more Metal Gear derivatives, such as the Raptors, that act as security for their employers. By MGS4, the war economy is in full swing. The war economy shifted the time so that war was a profitable venture. So long as war was waging, PMCs could make money by taking contracts to fight in proxy wars for countries that didn't want to get their hands dirty. The more proxy wars, the more available contracts, and the more contracts taken meant more money for those involved. PMCs were eager to carve out their place as a major player in the war economy, and so they augmented their soldiers to give them an edge over their competition. This augmentation started with injecting their soldiers with nanomachines that controlled hormones, dampened negative emotions, and heightened their senses. If you'd like to hear more about who founded the war economy, I'll have a video linked in the description below. When soldiers' nanomachines were shut down, PMCs turned to cybernetics to give their soldiers the edge they needed to stay competitive. These cybernetic enhancements, or in some cases, complete cyborg bodies, made soldiers so agile and strong that they could deflect bullets with fortified swords. Were these enhancements so powerful that soldiers no longer needed Metal Gear support in battle? Off the battlefield, most Metal Gears are tools to either skirt around nuclear deterrence or enforce it. Metal Gear Rex could launch a nuke against anywhere in the world untraceably. Metal Gear Rex gave its owner a free pass at launching a nuke with no consequences from their enemies or the international community. Metal Gear Peace Walker, however, ensured nuclear deterrence whether or not there was a person there to press the launch button. Peace Walker was fully autonomous and programmed to launch a retaliatory nuclear strike against any country that would nuke its country. Metal Gears are a product of a time when deterrence was the name of the game. As the time shifted and the global community shifted from wanting to prevent war to wanting to wage endless proxy wars to make money, does this make weapons that focus on deterrence obsolete? And where does this leave other Metal Gears like Arsenal Gear that's focused on information control or the 25 pilotless Metal Gear Rays that protect it? Are these Metal Gears outside of the influence of the war economy, or are they made just as obsolete as their nuclear-focused counterparts? Are Metal Gears obsolete? Let's look at things through the lens of, yes, Metal Gears are obsolete. The war economy demands war. It's the way everyone involved in the war economy makes their profits, and the profits from the war economy boost the global economy. So Metal Gears that focus on deterrence are a product of their time with no place in this new world. They sit around in storage gathering dust with the rest of the stockpile of nukes countries had gathered to deter one another from blasting each other. Metal Gears have no place on the battlefield. They're too big and bulky and are fodder for soldiers with cyborg bodies to turn into Swiss cheese with their fortified swords. The biggest indicator for Metal Gear's obsolescence is their absence from Metal Gear Solid 4. The big bad Metal Gear is Outer Haven. Outer Haven is a Metal Gear based on Arsenal Gear and is a base of operations for Liquid Ocelot to operate on. It's first and foremost a base of operations, and secondarily has a nuke that it can launch, because there always has to be a threat of nukes in Metal Gear Solid. Outer Haven is not a bipedal battlebot that can traverse any terrain, because that's not what's useful in MGS4. By the time 2014 rolls around, we're in the thick of the war economy, and Metal Gears serve no real purpose to support all the proxy wars that are being waged. Soldiers are now so enhanced with cyborg bodies that they can take down a Metal Gear with a sword alone. War has changed, and Metal Gears didn't keep up with those changes. How have Metal Gears evolved over the series? Let's take another look at deterrence. Yes, never-ending proxy wars are a way for the world to rake in profits, but you still need something to protect your homeland. By definition, proxy wars are meant to be fought away from the homeland and without a direct involvement by the country supporting it. Deterrence is still necessary to keep proxy wars as proxy wars, so Metal Gears are still a necessity, if you believe in nuclear deterrence. And what about the other Metal Gears we mentioned? Information control will always be an alluring venture for a government. Metal Gears like Arsenal gear that can masquerade as an offshore cleanup facility while also carefully curating information the government wants to feed its people will never be antiquated. Similarly, Metal Gears that are designed to protect their curator of information will also always be needed. As for on the battlefield, there are still Metal Gears supporting soldiers and bridging the gap between infantry and artillery in 2014, and even in 2018. The Metal Gears that support soldiers have just evolved to be more useful on the battlefield, same as the cybernetic technology has evolved to make deadlier soldiers. The Geckos are a prime example of Metal Gears working on the battlefield, and in Metal Gear Rising there are a plethora of examples. The Raptors and Vodum Jerka are both miniature Metal Gears that attack Raiden whenever given the chance. Most PMCs employ cyborg soldiers, meaning most soldiers have all had the same enhancements, which levels the playing field the same as if no one had the enhancements. So Metal Gears are still needed as added support, they've just evolved to better do that job as all weapons have. These smaller units may not be considered to be Metal Gears anymore, but they still evolved from them and are still performing the same role. Have Metal Gears been made obsolete by the growing war economy? Or did they evolve with it and continue to be useful? Your thoughts. Does the war economy make Metal Gears obsolete? Do soldiers still need Metal Gear's support in battle? Is nuclear deterrence still a pressing matter when countries willingly participate in unending proxy wars? We took a poll here on YouTube and the majority of you voted that Metal Gears were still useful, and I agree. My personal opinion is that even if we don't see them as Metal Gears, the smaller autonomous units that chase us like the Geckos or the Raptors are Metal Gear cousins, designed to fill in for Metal Gears better now that technology has evolved and battlefields are so much faster paced. Plus, Metal Gear is all about nuclear deterrence, and although the war economy is pro-war, countries still need a deterrent for their homeland. Misty76 brought up a really great point when they said, "Think about it, people. A cyborg can wipe out an entire army. A nuke can do that too, sure, but it can cause bystanders damage, and nuclear fallout is a mess you don't want to have." I never thought about how cyborgs could save civilian lives, as they could do more damage on the battlefield, but that damage is cordoned to the battlefield. Nukes don't discriminate, and the fallout from a nuclear strike could devastate civilians. Alan Frosty 371 commented, "Cyborgs are infinitely more useful and valuable than Metal Gears. Every Metal Gear has been defeated by a single soldier, usually one of the snakes, but cyborgs have been able to take on multiple people at once. The nuclear capabilities of Metal Gears is negated by the fact that they're so easily taken." Which is so true. Every Metal Gear is taken down by a single soldier, one-man army or not, and most Metal Gears get hijacked or stolen. Which would you rather invest in? Cyborgs or a Metal Gear that's easy to destroy or steal? Metal Gears were designed to fill the missing link in weaponry. They're impressively intimidating, and most Metal Gears are nuclear capable and untraceable. They're geared towards a world where deterrence is the goal, but do they become obsolete when the war economy demands the opposite and encourages never-ending proxy wars as a way to boost the world economy? What about cyborgs? As soldiers are enhanced further and further to the point where bullets are ineffective, do they still need Metal Gears to support them on the battlefield? Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for making it to the end of today's video. If you liked it, share it with someone who wants to know more about Metal Gear Solid lore. If you need more MGS content, check out my Patreon or become a channel member. I upload articles I write on upcoming videos or just thought pieces on MGS in general. Or join us in Discord. We're always talking about MGS. More importantly than that though, please take care of yourself and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. Special thank you to our $10 Patreon, Nader Najat. Thank you so much for your support.